This program contains crazy material, including offensive language. Listening discretion is advised.
Welcome to a VO's Padded Room podcast. So put on your straitjackets and join Big Jim and Brad Storm as they probe inside the mind of a new guest each week. So strap up and let's do this.
Our guest this week on a VO's Padded Room podcast has more than 3 decades of experience working in animation, video games, commercials, narration, promos, and so much more. Our guest has been a featured performer in theme parks, made people laugh working stand-up, and has been featured in both film and television. Our guest is the owner of Jelly Donut Studios and a member of an international championship men's barbershop chorus. It's time to get strapped in the padded room because JDK, you are locked in and mic'd up. Welcome to the show.
Yeah! Ha, ha, I work in a padded room. Ha, ha.
You got a straight jacket on now.
Oh, no. Can't have that. No.
Hey, JD, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for the short notice fill-in. I appreciate that.
Happy to do it, man.
I'm glad. And, you know, you have such a storied career, and I'd like to go all the way back to the beginning. How did it all begin?
It began when my brother got sick of me doing impressions around the house when I was in high school, and he contacted my guidance counselor, said, man, when there's a play, tell my brother, because I got to get him to shut up around the house. So I started doing theater in high school. Yeah. And then it's been going on ever since. I did, that's when I was doing TV and film, little things back in the day. And it grew to theater, and I've been doing theater all my life. Love theater, done some movies, done some, a few little television bits. And then I found voiceover, and I love voiceover. So I stuck with voiceover.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, voiceover.
You're doing impersonations. Now, what impersonations were you actually doing as a kid?
As a kid? Oh, well, as a kid, I used to record television shows with a cassette recorder, back in the day. Yeah. Before we had any other technology. That was actually, now that I think of it, I had an 8-track boombox about this big that I carry.
Yeah.
Did you have any Kiss 8-tracks by chance?
Kiss 8-tracks? Actually, no, I had Kiss record albums, but no 8-tracks.
Vinyl.
Actually, my first rock band was named Sabotage, and we were
Sabotage.
Kiss fans. Huge. Yeah, I actually saw Kiss front row center one day. I had my hand on a Gene Simmons bloody towel for about that long before somebody behind me grabbed it and I lost it.
And wiped their face.
Well, I don't care. That I would not have done. But yeah, that was cool. I loved Kiss. So yeah, man, I've been doing this stuff since way, way back. I've loved it.
You were acting in high school, and what plays were you in by chance?
In high school, I did we did a bunch of one-act plays where I was, 17, and I played a angry old man. We did some what do you call those? I can't think of it. Like not improv. Oh.
As we take a break,
exaggerated
his thoughts.
Exaggerated. I get melodramas. Hello, melodramas. We did melodramas. We did The Music Man, and it was high school. We double cast. I was the lead for a couple of nights, and I was in the barbershop quartet a couple of the nights. And
don't do drugs, kids. I'm just kidding. Just
and we did Arsenic and Old Lace. One of my favorite shows.
That is my favorite play, bro. I love that. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, back in high school, I just played one of the peripheral characters, but when I did it out of high school, I played Teddy.
Oh,
Teddy.
Nice.
Teddy Roosevelt, or he thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
That's a great character. That is such a great character. And actually, I used a voice, he's sort of a Bostonian, but I used a voice like this. But the problem is that Teddy Roosevelt sounded nothing at all like this. He had a high,
sounded
kind
good.
of a ringy voice.
That's right. He did.
But the fans loved it, or the audience loved it.
It was super. It was super. Oh, I think they just loved when I, played my horn and ran up the stairway screaming. They didn't know that I had about this much room by the time I got upstage.
Back when
slam out the back of the theater.
Back when physical comedy was all the rage. That's so awesome.
I love physical comedy. That's why I love the stage. You never know what's going to happen. In that particular show, we had a guy who played the character's Einstein. I don't know how well you guys know it. He's the right hand man of the villain of the piece. And at one point in our show, he falls into a window box. Somebody left a window box open. Whatever, no big deal. He falls up, gets out, and goes on his way. No, not this time. Our guy fell and hit his head on the edge of the window box, which was made of 2x4s.
Oh no, he didn't get up.
Oh hell, he did get up. He came stumbling out, bloody and dripping, running around the stage, wanting to continue the show.
That's hardcore.
That we did not do. Well, we had to convince him that we were done. The play was over.
Sorry, everybody, but put some pressure on that and elevate it.
We got a near-death experience. It's not in the script. Sorry.
The audience thought the special effects guy was spot on, huh?
Yeah, that guy's great.
He's great.
Oh wow! Put him in Hollywood.
Exactly. So I also did a little directing. I helped direct My Fair Lady in high school, and then I did theater. After high school, some junior college, and I've been doing theater and film and television and voiceover ever since. I did a lot of barbershop, so I did a lot of live announcing and a lot of and then I did the Universal Studios thing and in Florida. Actually, I helped open that place. Yeah, and I also worked at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I was a puppeteer, stage technician, and I did character voices for them. And at Knott's Berry Farm, I was the comedian in the Calico Saloon Can show, where I got to dance in a tutu with the Can dancers.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
He'll do it all,
That's
guys.
beautiful.
Nice.
And through your youth, right? You say you went to high school, did the theater training there. You went to El Camino College, correct?
Yeah, it's a junior college, yeah.
Yep, junior college. And then you went to Universal Studios and Six Flags. So what did you take from all these experiences while you were young? And did you take anything and transfer it over to what you're doing now?
I always liked the experience of dealing with people. So I actually learned a lot about how to deal with people directly, voiceover is a business, and you have to deal with people in your business. So you really need to know how to deal with people. You need to know how to run a business, and you need to know how to, respond to situations. And I got a lot of that from working, in those places. I mean, at Universal, I had some pretty interesting experiences. I met a lot of celebrities and stuff, and I also got yelled at by the head of the studio once, because of something that wasn't my fault. But, and I knew, this is the head of Universal Studios Pictures. You can't just talk back. You can't just, So I because of my experience in the past, I learned how to handle it. And eventually I got an apology from Lou Wasserman, the head of Universal Pictures. Like,
nice.
Because I was able to express myself without being an idiot.
Right. And I think, one of the toughest things about being a voiceover artist and being successful, like you said, is running the business part. It seems like there's so many actors that are outstanding behind the mic, but when you can't put them both together, and that's what's taken me a while to try to get in the groove, because I was a firefighter for 15 years. People would call me and we'd go, do what we had to do. And it wasn't, we weren't running a business. And so what are some key factors that you like to focus in on and hone in on, and tell the listeners about
key factors as it relates to the
running a business? Yeah.
You know what? Yes. You've got to. One of the key factors is always be on top of what the trends are, what's current, what's happening now, because you can't get behind, because if you do, you'll never move forward. That's probably one of the biggest. The other thing, the biggest thing that I have a problem with is not being distracted. I get distracted very, very easily. So
I think that's a prerequisite to being a voiceover. Voice actor is ADHD, because I know I've met a lot of folks like us that have, like that bright, shiny thing comes, and I know
exactly.
I'm going.
I don't have ADHD. Wait, there's a chicken.
Wait, what?
Squirrel. Whoa,
that's exactly it. The strange little compartment I'm in is I have a few regular clients who I've been working with for a long time, but because I do characters, and I'm not yet, I haven't made my way into the big animation world. I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm not in with the in crowd yet. So a lot of the work I do are one-offs. That you've got to just keep plugging away. You've got to keep plugging away, because that's the only way you're going to get those jobs. You got to seek them out. You got to dig them out, dig under the rocks.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, you brought up a good point. Now, with this COVID and this whole pandemic, kind of everybody's forced to stay home now, as far as, and, do the auditions. Have you found giving you kind of that open door to do more of the large name auditions that you would have, had to have done in person?
Frankly, I rarely audition in person. So as far as COVID goes, COVID has actually been a successful time for me. I've gotten more work. I've gotten more dubbing. I do a lot of dubbing. And I did, I've only gone into a studio one time since last March. Everything else, I've done a bunch of stuff for Netflix right here in my studio.
Yeah,
I did a film. The only thing I did in a studio in Glendale was a film that they're taking out to the competitive circuits, Sundance and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know where they're at with that, but that's the only time I've been in the studio. And actually, I found that job through Backstage. Which,
right. Okay. Perfect.
That was really surprising. A lot of people don't have a lot of faith in Backstage anymore. And it's true. You got to work your butt off, but there's a lot of non-competitive rates. And of course, that's the biggest problem in VO today is people don't understand the value.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
But this was a really good project, and it was a film. And they brought me in to redub all of the lines of the lead that they had in the film, which was good for me, embarrassing for him. But, we'll see how he feels. I'll never know how he feels about it. So
right on.
I don't feel bad. I had a great time doing it.
Yeah. What challenges does dubbing bring to the table? I mean, you're trying to, follow somebody's mouth as far as, putting the words in their mouth, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Is there any, you have live directed sessions, correct? And how many times do you have to do things over to get it right?
You know what? There are two distinctly different types of dubbing that I am currently doing. One is the 3 beeps method, which you're almost everybody's familiar with. Beep, 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 go. Mm-hmm. And then there's a new kind called Vision Cue, which was founded by a husband and wife team. Fanny, obviously I'm trying to think, Fanny Brett, and her husband, who came out of I don't want to call it by the wrong name. Darn it. Anyway, Encore Voices. They came out of there, and now they're with Seven Holdings Media, and they have created a piece of software that voice cue is almost like karaoke for voice actors.
Oh wow, that's cool.
You have your film in front of you,
and
then you have a red runner and a blue runner, let's say, and the blue line has white letters going across. It's your dialogue, and the red line is my dialogue, comes across in white, and when it hits the yellow line, you speak. Oh. And you are always looking at the piece you're recording. It makes it much easier to do the dialogue because you don't have to look at your paper, look up the screen, look at your paper, look up the screen, look over there, look up the screen. It's right in front of you and you're always there. And then the capabilities of on the technical side are amazing. I've done projects where, I'm sitting here in a little studio, a little booth, but my character is outdoors in a snowstorm in an echoey cave, and the sound tech takes a second, and all of a sudden, that's what I sound like, right there on the fly. That blew me away.
Yeah.
So it's getting easier for you as a voice actor to actually give a performance instead of just a perfunctory overdub.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right on. Yeah. You talk
really amazing.
You talk about audio engineering. When you got into voiceover, being in the acting area, I'm sure. How much audio engineering expertise did you have?
Well, you know what? From doing theater, I had a lot of slice and dice in the old days using tape, because I've done a lot of audio prep with tape. Sometimes I didn't get cast in a show or whatever, and a lot of times, especially in amateur theater, they need everybody with any skill they got. I mean, I've been a lighting designer, sound designer, and all of that. Mm-hmm. So beyond that, I was in rock bands. So
perfect. Yeah, Sabotage, right?
Sabotage. Yeah,
Sabotage.
The Barons. Better the Barons than Sabotage. Sabotage never went anywhere. The Barons went and could have kept going, but we didn't. But so you get your experience. I never had any formal experience. I'm studying now to get more formal education in how to master my audio.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked with some of the best in the, the VO business to learn how to prepare my audio for sending out quality auditions. So I can record studio quality audio, but there are a lot of techniques and specifications that I'm just learning about now. Because there's some amazing, engineers out there who are teaching, the masses what needs to be known.
Right. I'm taking an audio engineering class at the moment too. And I want to unlock a lot of those doors. Mm-hmm. I want to know that when I do an audition and I send it out, voiceover it's going to be on point, but also the sound quality.
Absolutely.
Everything around it.
Absolutely.
And these things take time. These things take time.
It gives you another layer to offer to your clients as well. If you know what you're doing, you can do that music bed underneath, or if it's some sort of an animation or a game or something, you could bring in those special effects, and how to produce that audio.
Right. Yeah. You know where they set in the track, in the mix rather. So absolutely.
Yeah. It's a tricky thing. I listened back to some of my stuff in the early days and you just want to puke.
I think we all do that. I mean, 3 years ago, I look back at stuff and I'm like, man, that sounds like shit.
Absolutely.
But, it's good though. You can have that reflection, just to say, hey man, I've come a long way. And because as voiceover artists, a lot of us are hard on ourselves. We're very critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
We want everything to be perfect.
Yeah, that's one of the issues I have. It takes me a little bit longer than it probably should to get an audition out, because I want to get in there and get all the clicks and pops out, and I want to, clean up the breaths and blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
A lot of people just, churn and burn. I can't do that. I can't. It just, I can't.
Some people record on their phones and send in auditions.
I've done that. I think in today's climate, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
You just can't. The competition is so stiff, even with, amateurs, and of course all the way to the professionals, and the portable equipment is so affordable.
Yeah,
there's no excuse. I mean, I can record in my van and get a studio quality recording,
and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's well insulated. It's big. It's roomy. I'll bring out an interface.
Is it the Scooby-Doo van?
No, not this monster. No, it's I have a Ford passenger van, 5 rows of seats. It is designed for livery. So I got a 17-inch TV in there,
Nice.
full-blown stereo with it's awesome. It has 12 bucket seats.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. You talk about challenges, and I want to touch on this before we hit the game show.
Sure.
Stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell do you get the nerve? I mean, because I've been in a band too, and getting on stage singing is a whole different beast than getting up in front of people telling jokes. How do you get the nerve to do that?
Yeah, well, I had friends for years who said, "Oh, you ought to do stand up," and I always said, "I'm a theater guy. Give me a script. I'll do a script."
Yeah.
But eventually, what happened was I took a class, and that helps you to get past that initial fear. If you're comfortable with yourself, I mean, if you're not shy, I guess shyness makes a big difference. But taking a class like that gives you the fundamentals and lets you know what works, what doesn't, and you try out your material and you work on your set piece. And they bring people in. Your first 7 minutes, that's the big magic number. New talent used to go on the Tonight Show, probably still do the same thing. You get 7 minutes, so that's what you do. You work on your first 7 minutes, and you probably perform that same bit for a year, 2 years.
You got it down.
Only everywhere, all over the country.
Yeah.
And, so that's what it is. It's just, I took a class. I got great instruction, took it in LA, actually just outside of Hollywood. And that's how I had the confidence to do it. And that's what it took.
Do you have any stories of like how you had to go through maybe a hurdle when you were on stage where you're like, man, people aren't laughing. And then like all of a sudden it picked up?
You know what? I've always been pretty lucky in that regard. Crickets, it's like, basically my routine is kind of self-aware. Actually, you can find my very first performance of my routine on my YouTube channel. Actually, I was blonde. I dyed my hair. Yeah, I dyed my hair. I was doing a play. We're playing a
Ric Flair.
A film director. I looked. Oh, you know what? I looked like Ric Flair. I was playing a film director, and I said to my director, "Hey, can I dye my hair blonde for it?" And he said, "No." So when the play was over, I dyed my hair blonde anyway. But I couldn't do it during the play. So, basically, I'm very self-aware. So when something goes wrong,
Oh, yeah.
basically I react with the audience. Oh, oh, you didn't like that one, huh? Well, okay. Thought it'd go over better, but all right. So let's go on to this. And that's it. I didn't care. You have your 7 minutes. You know where you're supposed to go. Just go.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I mean, I've never been abusively heckled.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun.
Let the games begin! Let the games begin! Let the games begin!
It's time for another round of a VO's Padded Improv. Since it's Valentine's week, we're going to do things a bit different today. We have a couple of poems we're going to read as a redneck couple. So JD, when we're ready, the mic is ours.
Well, let's see what we've got to go here. I love you so much, I wrote this little bitty poem for you.
Oh dear, thank you.
It's college is green, and your eyes ain't blue. I'm so lucky to have a darling like you. You can strip a motor in just a few minutes, and still have time to go hunt supper and even skin it.
Ooh.
We go together like a skunk and stink. Every time I see you, my eyes start to wink.
Oh.
Your love for me is like a roll of duct tape. You hold me together each time I break.
Oh, JD, you're so sweet. I done wrote one for you.
Oh, let me hear it.
On them special occasions when you shave your beard and clean all that hair from out of your ears, I want to take you out and show you off to the crowd.
Woo!
Because when we go to town, you make me feel real proud. At night, when you hold me real tight, like you do, I can smell it on your breath, the scent of your chew. I love your kisses. Ain't no one wears finer. You taste like roadkill down at the diner.
Ooh.
But I love you so much. Oh, yeah, my heart aches.
We're stronger together.
Well, you know, I eat that roadkill because, down at the diner, it's usually free.
Oh, JD, drink your moonshine and shut up. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Good stuff.
that was fun.
Yes, sir.
Buy one, get one free. Come on. Oh, you guys are making me sick. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, question. My wife and I, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We just don't think it's that big of a deal. But do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? And have you taken care of that already?
Well, you know what? I'd like to do a little something special for my wife. I've been buying her fake diamonds, these gigantic diamonds. So every year I try and find her one from somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
and
awesome.
when I proposed to her, I was actually working for a computer company,
Okay.
and one of the modem manufacturers had a Diamond 512 modem at the time. That's how old I am. So I had a ring, a diamond ring that was this big with a giant ring on it. And that's what I used to propose to her.
Oh, right on. That's
I
awesome.
said,
Lantern.
I wish I could buy you a ring as big as this. And it's been going on for 22 years now.
Oh, man. That's
That is
awesome.
awesome. That
That's
is so
awesome.
cool.
What about you, Jim? You got your
love
stuff squared away or what?
Yeah, no, I'm a last minute shopper. I'll probably hit the Walgreens. No, we actually, it's been tradition. The kids have actually played kind of like host and hostess and made us a dinner at night and stuff, and it was pretty cool. But I think this year we're putting the kids to bed early, and we're gonna watch a movie and just kind of maybe eat some dinner and watch a movie or something.
Do something alone for a change, huh? That's nice.
Right? Yeah, because with them doing school, with the school here, and the kids are always here.
Yep. Always underfoot.
I understand. Hey, JD, I want to touch on this real quick.
Sure.
PUBG. PUBG
Yeah,
is like the biggest friggin' game
I love
out
PUBG.
there.
Those guys are
It's been
so
out
cool.
for a while now, but you lend your voice to that game. And I want to know how that all came about. That'd be interesting to know as far as I'm concerned.
Let me think. I think if I recall correctly, I actually auditioned for my initial role via one of the P2Ps.
Oh, well,
Matter of
interesting.
fact, yeah, it was. Well, they're based in Korea. The company actually,
Okay.
I've worked with. I worked with a bunch of different companies through them: Santa Monica, Korea, and also Canada. So but I think they posted something in Bodalga, on Bodalga, which is I love Bodalga, and they hired me to do that initial. That was the season 4 cinematic ad, which is up there on YouTube. It's also it's on up there. And then,
excellent work.
Thank you. Love it very much. When I first heard the music to that, I melted. It's beautiful. And then of course, then you marry the artwork with the voice and the music, and it's fantastic.
Now, do you know the guys at? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you know the guys at Viva Dirt League? I do not. Check it out on Facebook. They do all the skits for Pub PG.
Oh, that's great.
So funny. These guys are hilarious.
Oh, that's cool. I'll check them out. Now, we did do a live action thing recently where they wanted to have my character via Zoom talking to some of his operatives. I don't know where these other actors were. There was, I think, 5 or 6 of them, although one was in a set, which was the bunker, where he was the guy, he was at the control panel. He was the right-hand man. And the bunker eventually gets broken into and he gets killed in front of all of us who are on screen. But the kicker to this is that my character, who's only known as the Russian to this point, he's the boss. He's like the mafioso. Nobody knows him. So they're all talking for the longest time. And then they say, oh no, these two people took off. How are we going to explain that to the Russian? What are we going to do? I know, we can escape. We can go to this location. And the Russian pops in out of nowhere on Zoom in a black screen.
Yeah.
Just says untitled. They don't see him. They don't read his name. They hear him start talking. The first thing he says is, well, they can always take this, blah, but this boat to this place.
Nice.
So immediately he knows what they're doing. He knows what they're up to. And they had no idea that he was paying any attention to them.
Awesome.
And it was live. And I joined the conversation in black with untitled for the cast.
Nice.
Never spoke except as the character until the filming was finished. So cool. And they were begging me to turn on my camera and to talk to them. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
That is awesome.
You're like the evil menace on Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yes.
You never see his face, but he's always sitting in the chair with the cat.
The claw.
The claw. The claw.
It's wonderful.
Oh, God, how much fun was that?
Oh, God, that was amazing. Because, and the director, I had never personally, Zoom or otherwise, met the director. So he didn't know what to expect from me. So, as he's gathering all his actors and everybody shows up, it's like, well, okay, we've got everybody here. Well, I don't know. Is the Russian here? I'm here, I played it to the hilt, and we had such a great, great time. One of my favorite things that they had me do for them was a corporate meeting. Had nothing at all to do with the public, nothing at all to do with the game specifically, but they had the Russian appear in a corporate meeting. So I got to go in. I understand you're all thinking about me and talking about me.
Well, you better stop.
So I got to go in and threaten the whole company.
So now it's kind of a thing. That's awesome. That is so cool.
I've worked for them 4 or 5 times, and it's been wonderful.
Has that unlocked any doors for you as well with that gig?
None.
We're all,
but that's voiceover.
It
like
gives
I said,
us hope.
We're at the edge of our seat.
I do a lot of. Yeah, I know. I'm here to hope. I'm here to help. I do a lot of one-offs. It's because. That's the nature of characters until you land a show with a Nickelodeon or a Disney or anybody,
one of the primetime bangers.
Yeah, then you become a player, then you become like a group player, and they call their same people back. But when you're doing one-offs, you're doing one-offs. You just keep finding them. You look for them,
just like in the term.
Yeah, it's okay. I love it.
And you got to love the rebranding of your studios. Jelly Donut Studios, a rebranding is coming around the corner.
It is.
Why don't you talk about that?
It's coming, folks.
Well,
it's coming.
Like I said, from my comedy routine, I have my opening bit is about what does JD stand for. And there was a child who met me when I was selling RVs, and he saw me, and, I've got a little of a pot belly, a little Santa Claus thing happening. And he said, "Hey, what does JD stand for? Jelly Donuts?" And I kind of like that. And it's stuck with me ever since. It's been like 20 years, and people still laugh about it. And when it came time to rebrand, I thought, okay, Jelly Donut Studios. So you see, I've got the artwork. I've got actually various versions of the artwork. I've changed my name. I'm going to be updating my website bit by bit. And I like it. It's memorable. It's kind of silly, which I'm kind of silly.
Yeah.
So, I take my job very seriously, but I like to have fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you're not having fun, it's not worth doing.
And the good thing about that is you already have something you can send out to your clients as
absolutely.
A gift every year.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Got tons of things. I could send them jelly donuts. I could send them my cards. I could send them. Absolutely. It's built in. Happy whatever from Jelly Donut Studios. Boom.
Here's your gift card to Dunkin' Donuts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you know what Steve Jobs says, if you're not doing something you love, if you do something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I absolutely agree.
And I'm right there with that.
And that's beautiful.
That's how I feel.
And you go into this rebranding, and you've had to probably learn some things from the previous branding that you went through. What is something that you're taking over to this new branding situation you got going?
I'm personalizing it. Very, very much so. Very much so. Because there are so much competition nowadays. You have to stand out. What makes you different? I could say, "Hey, I'll work for you 24/7. I'll turn that in faster than anything."
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll give you, production quality, broadcast quality audio, yada, yada, yada. But beyond that, what can I say? Well, I can say, I'm Jelly Donut Studios. I'm JD. I'm me. I'm fun. I'm a good time. I love you. Let's play, whatever. It's me. You got to be yourself.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. So bring yourself to the job. And, I had a coach once. God love this guy. And he said to me, you may not get a lot of return clients, you'll get a lot of churn, but the ones who stick with you will never leave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. Being yourself is a big thing now with the Zoom and, messaging back and forth and, people being able to trust each other. Because trust does play a big factor when you're, like you said, you want to make the money you deserve to make. And when they're shoveling out that money, they want to be able to trust. So that's the key factor. And you talk about the competition and all the abundance of information that's on social media. And how does somebody that's starting out and just trying to build their business, how do they not get overwhelmed with everything that's going on, all the noise?
Oh, well, I think the first thing they've got to do is find the right sources to listen to. I kind of came about it in a bass-ackwards way. I first saw a voiceover video from a talent, and I started following that talent and learned their ways, and then got mired in some muck that wasn't really lifting up the voiceover community as a whole. But it was important to me to become part of the real community of voiceover. I found the right people, and that's what you got to do. You've got to find, and how do you do that? I could throw out names, but that would be the only way.
Yeah.
You talk to the right people, you get the honest answers, and it's by no means a get-rich-quick scheme.
No.
If you think you're going to go do voiceovers and all of a sudden the sun's going to shine and come out from behind the clouds, you're wrong. It isn't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because people, they do auditions and they get really bummed out. And there was a case where I landed an audition and then they decided to go with somebody in-house. So I totally lost it. I was bummed out for a second.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to keep moving on. You just got to keep moving.
You do. I heard at least two. I saw at least two commercials during the Super Bowl that I auditioned for. It's like, oh, crap. Well, you know what? God, he's better than me at this.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You got to be a realist. Hey, if you're not right for something, don't audition for it.
Exactly.
Or if you don't get it, don't mope. Just move on. I think, God, I know you guys have heard this 100 times, but auditioning is the job.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
If you're not auditioning, there's no way to make any money.
Right.
So
And
Keep
and that
moving
goes
forward.
back to what we were talking about earlier, is doing auditions on phones, or not putting, like, yeah, we put in the extra time, but we want that to be it. Here's how I look at it. When I do an audition, I want to be able to use that audition as a sample, ready to go.
Exactly.
So if I need to tweak it left and right, then I probably didn't send out the best audition I can.
You never know what's going to happen with your audition. I mean, one of my early mentors, he auditioned for Chevy, Find New Roads. That's it. 4 words. Chevy, Find New Roads. I think he gave him like 2 or 3 takes on the audition. They hired him, paid him $10,000, used the audition.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've heard of that.
That's the
I've
final.
heard of that before too.
$10,000, 4 words. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And we'll
So,
never talk to you again?
I don't know. They talked to him. They used them again. But I mean, you understand.
Okay, great.
Don't just give them, just don't give them a phone recording just because
Bro,
you
no.
can.
Mm-hmm.
If you have time, the only time I would ever give a phone recording is if they specifically said phone recording and you have no time. Get it in now.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
I better have an iPhone.
Phone recording's okay. You know what? I'm not that far from my studio. I'll send it in an hour.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely.
If you're the right choice, you'll be chosen.
And that's another thing I think our guest last week was saying as well, and I agree with him. It's, you may be the best in the world, but if they're not looking for your sound or your voice, you're not going to get it. And
Yep.
And that's why I say don't beat yourself up if you don't get them. It's good practice, yeah, but maybe they're looking for another voice.
See, that's another thing I'm pretty good at, and that comes from all the rejection and stuff in theater. But I mean, it doesn't bug me. Plus, everybody's talking about rejection. You know what? In voiceover, there is minuscule rejection compared to theater, film, television, because the reality of it is you're not getting rejected. Nobody's calling you up and saying, JD, you really sucked on that audition.
Nope.
And I will not be hiring you because you stunk. That's not happening. You're sending it out, and fine, you're not hearing anything about it. If you get hired, you do. But if they don't like your voice, or if you're not right for the part, that's the end of it. So the only person who's rejecting you is yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe you need some therapy to get over that, because you're not being rejected. You shouldn't, you should have a good attitude. You should, plug away. Eventually you'll find your niche. I thought I would be, of course I love doing characters. I thought I'm Mr. Animation guy. And then I did some video games. Like, oh, okay, that was cool. But all of a sudden I'm Mr. Dubbing guy. What?
The market, yeah.
I mean, okay, cool. I get to act. That's great. I love to act, but I'm not getting to do goofy characters. These are well-established characters in these pieces that I'm dubbing, but that's okay. The industry will tell you where they want you.
Exactly.
And if you succeed in an area, don't begrudge, don't feel bad that it's not your area. Embrace it. And then if you could still, and then pursue your area if you still want to do it. I still love doing, characters. So I'm doing characters when I can do them. But I'm not going to say no to any dubbing job that comes my way. It's great. It's great fun. And it pays, it pays money. The check's clear.
Hey, JD, it goes by fast, our time here. And I wanted to just thank you for filling in here this week on Valentine's week. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Who do you love?
Man, thank you for participating. That was so fun, buddy.
I had a good time. I had a great time with you guys.
Do you want to make any shout outs to anybody in particular? And do you want to plug your social media?
Is a long list if I were to give out shouts. You know what? Let me just say thank you to Janet Peters, who turned me on to you guys, and
thank you.
Wishing her the best of success with her. She had a tooth emergency, so I love Janet, and I want Janet to heal and feel better. And beyond that,
we're actually gonna have her back. Back when she heals, she's
excellent.
She's definitely gonna be a guest on the show.
She's a phenomenal talent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's excellent. Other than that, my socials, you can find me everywhere. I'm for JDK on Facebook. I am JDK on YouTube. I am VO by JD on Twitter. J.D.K on Instagram. And I have a lot of fun on Instagram, so don't expect a lot of serious stuff.
Well, that's good.
It's just for fun. I do a little voiceover related stuff there too, but that's not Instagram for me, is so people know that I'm a real boy.
Don't be lying now.
Absolutely.
And of course, I see one last comment about branding, for years, you guys probably both know my brand was my long hair and long beard.
Mm-hmm.
And, so this is another part of that change.
Change is good, my friend.
Get away from the
Change
hair.
is good.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I'm very, very happy.
That's awesome to hear.
Awesome. And it shows.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Had a great time. Great time with you guys.
I love it. Big Jim, you want to make any shout outs about what's going on with you?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to the wife, God, the kids, the greater Houston area. No.
I should say that too. I got a wife and God and kids and grandkids. And, they're all there for me. They're always there for me.
Absolutely. And, no, you can find me at bigjimmedia.com and then on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and
I'm on LinkedIn too.
Well, no, yeah, that's it. I think Instagram at Big Jim Media. And what about you, Brad? What you got?
You can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at BradStormVO, Brad Storm Voiceover on Facebook Business, Brad Storm Lanou on LinkedIn, Brad Storm on YouTube, and you can also check out a VO's Padded Room podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Captivate, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. I want you to give us a 5-star rating, give us a review, and share with the world.
Yes.
And remember, when the day gets tough, you gotta
punch every day in the face.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.